I was standing in the center of the VIP section at one of the biggest, most exclusive nightclubs in Dallas, Texas. The bass was thumping so hard I could feel it in my chest, and the strobe lights were flashing, cutting through the smoke. I had a camera in my hand. That was my job. I was the premier nightlife photographer. I was the person everyone wanted to know because I was the one who could make them look famous. I had the designer clothes, the luxury car, the money, and the social status. I was living what everyone told me was the American dream. But right there, surrounded by hundreds of people laughing, drinking, and dancing, I felt an overwhelming, crushing sense of loneliness. It was a coldness that started in my stomach and spread to my fingertips. I looked around at the faces of the people partying, people I called friends, and I realized none of it was real. It was all a performance. I asked myself a terrifying question. Is this it? Is this all there is to life? We work, we buy things, we get drunk to forget the work. We sleep and then we die. I went home that night, late as always, around 3 a.m. or 4 a.m. I scrubbed the heavy makeup off my face and looked at myself in the mirror. I didn't recognize the woman staring back at me. Her eyes were empty. I was suffering from severe anxiety. I couldn't sleep without pills, and I couldn't socialize without alcohol. I had a spiritual hole in my chest that no amount of shopping or partying could fill. I was a Catholic by birth, and I had tried to go back to the church. I sat in the pews crying, begging God for peace. But the theology just confused me. The idea of the Trinity, of God being three in one, never sat right with my logic. I needed answers, but all I found were mysteries. The turning point didn't come from a book initially. It came from observation. In my industry, amidst the chaos of the nightlife, I noticed a specific group of people. Valets, convenience store owners, some taxi drivers who were Muslim. They were different. They had this strange, calm light in their faces. They didn't drink. They didn't chase women in the club. They spoke about their families with such respect. Even in the middle of a chaotic night, they seemed grounded, anchored to something I couldn't see. I wanted what they had. I was jealous of their peace. So one night, instead of going out to a club, I stayed in. I sat in front of my computer and opened YouTube. I was terrified. I had grown up in the South. The media told me Islam was dangerous, that it was oppressive, that it was foreign. But my desperation for truth was stronger than my fear. I typed into the search bar, "Why do people convert to Islam?" and "The purpose of life in Islam." I expected to hear angry shouting. Instead, I found lectures by American converts, people who spoke my language, understood my culture, but had found the truth. I listened to scholars talk about Tawhid, the absolute oneness of God. No partners, no sons, no confusion. Just the Creator and the creation. It was like a lightning bolt struck my brain. It made perfect sense. It was the logic I had been craving my entire life. I spent the next few weeks leading a double life. By day, I was the party girl photographer. By night, I was secretly studying the Quran and watching lectures until sunrise. I listened to the Quran being recited, and even though I didn't understand the Arabic yet, the sound alone soothed my anxiety better than any pill ever had. I learned that we are here to be tested, that this life is temporary, and that our return is to God. It wasn't just a religion, it was a manual for existence. But then came the fear, the social fear. I was a blonde, blue-eyed American woman. My identity was built on my hair, my clothes, my appearance. Satan whispered to me constantly, "If you do this, you will lose everything. You will lose your job, your family will disown you, your friends will laugh at you, you will be alone." It was a paralyzed state, knowing the truth but being too afraid to embrace it. However, the pain of living a lie became greater than the fear of the truth. One afternoon, I watched a video of another American woman taking her Shahada, testimony of faith. I saw the pure joy radiating from her and I broke down. I couldn't wait anymore. I found the nearest mosque in Dallas. I drove there shaking. I was wearing long clothes, trying to be respectful, but I felt like an imposter. I walked in, expecting judgment.
I thought they would look at me and see the sinner, the club photographer. But when I walked through those doors, the women didn't judge me. They smiled. They hugged me. They treated me like a long-lost sister returning home. I sat with the imam and I asked my final questions. He answered them with patience and logic. And then the moment came. I sat on the carpet, surrounded by these strangers who felt like family, and I raised my index finger. I repeated the words, Ashhadu an la ilaha illallah wa ashhadu anna Muhammadan Rasulallah. I bear witness that there is no God but Allah, and Muhammad is his messenger. I cannot fully describe to you the physical sensation of that moment. It was as if a mountain, a physical weight of guilt, shame, and confusion was lifted off my shoulders. I felt light. I felt clean. I cried, not tears of sadness, but tears of overwhelming relief. I had finally come home. The aftermath wasn't easy, but it was worth it. The biggest step was the hijab. For a woman who made a living based on image, covering my beauty was a radical act. But when I finally put it on, something miraculous happened. I didn't feel oppressed. I felt liberated. For the first time in my life, men had to deal with my mind before they could look at my body. I reclaimed my dignity. I wasn't an object anymore. I was a servant of God. Yes, I lost friends. The party crowd disappeared when I stopped drinking and taking photos at clubs. My career had to change completely. There were difficult conversations with family, but what I gained was infinite. I traded the hangover for the clarity of Fajr prayer. I traded the loud music for the recitation of the Quran. I traded fake friends for a community that loves me for the sake of Allah. I look back at the photos of Nicole the party girl, and I don't miss her. I feel sorry for her. She was smiling for the camera, but she was dying inside. Today, I have a purpose. I wake up knowing why I exist. If you are out there feeling that same emptiness, staring at the ceiling at night wondering, is this it? I am telling you, there is an answer. Don't let fear stop you. The peace you are looking for is waiting for you, just one prostration away.